Okay, students. Yesterday, we were studied about line spectra of hydrogen, isn't it? We were studied about line spectra of hydrogen, where we got one formula that is 1 by lambda is equals to mu bar equals to. So this is very important. Remember this value. This is nothing but Rydberg's value or constant 109. 109, that is 109677, 1 by n1 square, 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square centimeter per centimeter. So this is again very important. Just try to remember this one, Rydberg's equation. Rydberg's equation, clear, for nu bar, that is wave number. So yesterday we studied that there are 5 series. So there are many series which are again unnamed, okay, where the value of N1 is for Lyman is 1, Balmer is 2, 3 for Fashion, bracket 4, and P fund it is 5. Clear? And for N2, value of N2 is 2, 3, so on. And here 3, 4, so on. 4, 5, so on. 5, 6, so on. 6, 7, and so on. So student, just remember there are infinite orbits around the nucleus, clear? So there are infinite orbits around the nucleus. So that's why we consider till infinity, clear? So the thing here is there may be presence of electron or no. Clear? But there is an infinite numbers of orbits around the nucleus. Is this clear, student? So then we were studied about spectral region, isn't it? Spectral region. What was that? So where actual this series will be found, that is in terms of electromagnetic radiation. First one, Lyman is in a, yeah, tell me, Lyman is in a UV, yes, UV. Then Balmer, visible, and these three are again IR. Very important. Try to remember this. Okay, student? Yeah, that's true. That's right answer. Clear? So now just remember one thing, student. For your competitive exam also, this equation is very important, where we consider one word, that is marginal line. Marginal line, or else it is known as limiting line. Limiting line. What do you mean by this? Marginal line or limiting line is one where the value of n2 is equals to infinity. Clear? Where we consider the value of n2 equals to infinity. Very important, student. So this equation and this thing is very important for your competitive purpose. Just remember marginal line or limiting line where n value, that is n2 value, is equals to infinity. Just try to remember this. Okay? So value of n2 is equals to infinity, because I already told you. So there are a number of orbits around the nucleus. Clear? So that is your n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. Clear? So there are several series of line also, but here those are unnamed, and we consider only these 5. Clear? Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Just try to remember this, okay? And whenever electrons tries to strike in a n1, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just remember these things. If it lands in n1 equals to 1, in that case it is alignment. If it is 2, then Balmer. If it is 3, partial. 4, bracket. And 5th, it is fund series. Clear, student? Is this clear? Is this clear? Yesterday only we discussed about this, isn't it? So I have given one problem for you to solve, isn't it? So that is, find the wavelength of electromagnetic radiation. Find the wavelength of electromagnetic radiation that is emitted from an electron, relaxes from n equals to 3 to n equals to 1. n equals to 3 to n equals to 1. This was the question, isn't it, student? This was the question where you have to find the value of lambda. First one given, I didn't write question here, just n1 or n2. That is, I'll consider it as n equals to 2, n equals to 1, and you have to find the value of lambda. Isn't it? So now question arise, which one we should consider as n1 and which should consider as a n2. So here we consider lower value as n1 itself. Clear? We consider it as a, yes, Ritika, we considered it as a n1 where in this equation only we write it as n1 maybe equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3 so on, and n2 equals to n1 plus 1 comma n1 plus 2 comma n1 plus 3 so on. So that means N1 is always lesser than that of N2. So that's why you have to consider the value of N1 as a 1. So again, formula 1 by lambda nu bar equals to 109677 into 1 by, just substitute the value. I'll just substitute the value. Okay. So that value of N1 is 1 square minus the value of N2 is 3 square. I'll write it as N1 and N2 3 whole square. And you'll finally get the answer. Is this clear, student? So first you'll get the value of mu bar. So that is nothing but around 0.973 into 10 raised to 7, 0.973. So just remember here there is a per centimeter, clear? So you have to convert it into meter. You have to convert, or else if you are considering like that only, it is okay. Finally, it is 10 raised to 7 per meter. You can consider in terms of, 1 minute, you can consider it in terms of centimeter itself or meter. Okay. Finally, the value of 1 by lambda. 1 by lambda and nu bar is inversely proportional. So that's why you'll get the value lambda equals to, yeah, yesterday someone sent me the answer. So that is, yeah, 1.025 into 10 raised to minus 7 per meter, and this one is meter. This one is per meter and this one is meter. Just do the calculation and you'll get the answers. Okay. If in case this one 109,109,677 per centimeter, isn't it? Convert it into meter and in a scientific notation you'll get 1.09677 into 10 raised to 7 per meter, because centi is 10 raised to 2. Clear? Centi, 10 raised to 2 or 10 raised to minus 2 or 10 raised to 3 or 10 raised to minus 3. Prithvi, just tell me what do you mean by centimeter? Centi. Students, mute your mic. Okay. 10 raised to minus 2. Okay. So just remember these things. Just remember 10 raised to minus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's why it is 10 raised to 7 per meter. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Just try to remember this. Okay. So now I'll give another problem. Just remember. So I want you to calculate. The value of nu bar, the value of okay, Rohit. Yeah, okay. So now just calculate the value of nu bar for is it clear now? Okay. Find the value of nu bar for marginal line for the Lyman series. marginal line of Lyman series. Find the value of nu bar for marginal line of Lyman. Just tell me the answer, students. Just tell me the answer. So this is very important. Try to remember and just remember what about marginal line. Marginal line, what do you mean by marginal line? Where we consider the value of n2 as a infinity, isn't it? And we consider Lyman series. We consider Lyman series. What was the given thing? Given it was given as a Lyman series, isn't it? Lyman series, in that case n1 value is always equals to, what will be the n1 value? Yes, it is 1, and the n2 value is dash for marginal line. N2 value is for marginal or limiting line. What it is? For marginal line, what will be the value of n? Yes, it is infinity. Already we discussed, isn't it? Yes. So therefore, substitute the value nu bar equals to, I'll consider it as RH itself. Okay, RH is nothing but Rydberg constant divided by 1 n1 square minus 1 divided by n2 square. Just substitute the value RH 1 by 1 square minus 1 by infinity whole square. 1 by infinity equals to 1 by infinity equals to, students, answer 1 by infinity equals to, yes, it is equals to 0. Very good. So therefore, RH 1 by 1 square is nothing but it remain as it is. The value of nu bar equals to RH, that is Rydberg constant. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? If I ask the question as find the value of nu bar, find the value of nu bar for Balmer series. Find the value of nu bar for Balmer series. Balmer series for the line that is nothing but marginal line. Marginal line. Just find out, okay? Just find out. It is very easy. Again, you have to consider it as infinity itself, 1 by 2 square. Clear? So now, what is the value for lambda here? What is the value of lambda? 1 divided by RH. 1 divided by RH. Clear? For any limiting line, the formula will be 1 by lambda nu bar equals to, RH 1 by n1 square itself. Clear? So this is for limiting line or marginal line. This was the formula, that is 1 by lambda equals to nu bar equals to RH divided by n1 square. Remember this, okay? This is for marginal line or this is for limiting line. Clear? So just substitute the value, you'll get the answer. If in case it is a Balmer series, you have to consider n1 as a 2. If in case you are considering partial, it will vary. If in case it is P fund, it will again vary. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Is this clear? Huh? Just try to remember about a marginal line. Try to remember. Clear? Okay. Okay, fine. So now what about line spectrum of hydrogen? So line spectrum of hydrogen or line spectrum of any element is unique. Line spectrum of any element. Yeah, I did it. Okay, let me see. So then, just listen, student. Line spectrum of element is unique. First one is, if in case I'll consider different element, if in case I consider different elements, the line spectrum of each and every element has a unique character. So that is the first point, isn't it? So second point, there is a regularity in the spectrum. There is some regularity in spectrum. So in first point, we told that is we told that first point, line spectrum of element is unique, isn't it? But in a second point, I told there is some regularity in spectrum. There is some regularity in spectrum of each element. There is some regularity in each element, and that is due to electronic configuration. That is due to, this is due to electronic configuration. Electronic configuration, which we study further. Clear? So line spectrum of element is unique. If you consider line spectrum of different element, it is a unique, but there is some regularity in spectrum of each element due to presence of electronic configuration, or due to this phenomenon. This is electronic configuration, and we know the electronic configuration of elements, isn't it? So there is some similarity due to this electronic configuration. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Huh? And for this, we'll get into a Bose atomic theory. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Spectrum of each element is unique. Clear? If there is a identical nature, there is some regularity or similarity between the spectrum of each element due to electronic configuration. Is this clear, student? Is this clear about a line spectrum and about line spectrum of hydrogen? Okay, student. So now, in case of Rutherford atomic model, there is some limitation, isn't it? There was some limitation. What was those limitation? Huh? Yeah, first one, it didn't explain about the stability of atom, isn't it? So there is no explanation of stability of atom in a Rutherford atomic model, isn't it? No? And there is no explanation for line spectrum of hydrogen atom. Yeah, there is no specific explanation about electronic distribution also, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. And those things were again explained in Bohr's atomic model. So we'll study about Bohr's atomic model. Again, very important. You have to remember the postulates of each. Very important, student. So this is very important. So that is Bohr's model of atom. Bohr's model of atom. So now, what will be the postulate? So first, Niels Bohr in 1913 gives the explanation about atom. He gives explanation about atom, which explain the stability and about the line spectrum of hydrogen atom. Clear? So he concluded, or he gives some postulates, almost 5 postulates were there. Clear? First one, he explained that electron in the atom revolve around the nucleus. Electron, if in case I'll consider it as a nucleus, electron revolve around the nucleus in a circular path, with a fixed radius and energy. Clear? So condition, there must be a fixed radius and fixed energy. Electron revolve around the nucleus in a specific manner with definite radius and definite amount of energy, and those orbit and those path, or that circular path, is known as orbit, isn't it? So that is known as orbits, or stationary state, or energy level. That is known as orbit. First one is orbit, same, all things are same. Orbit, stationary state, or energy level. Clear, student? Huh? Electrons, first postulate of Bohr's atomic theory is electron revolve around the nucleus in a circular path with a fixed radius, and energy, and that circular path is known as orbit, or stationary cell, or energy level. So this was the first postulate of Bohr's atomic model. Electrons revolve around around nucleus in a circular path with definite radius and with fixed energy, and which is known as, and that is known as orbit, stationary shell, or energy level, Clear, student? First point, first postulate of Bohr's atomic model. First one. So for board examination, you'll get this for 4 to 5 marks. Clear? So that's why remember this. First postulate of Bohr's atomic model: electron revolve around the nucleus in a circular path with a definite radius and with a definite energy, which is known as orbit, stationary shell, or energy level. So that is the first point. Second point, as long as electron revolve in a same shell, if in case electron revolve in a same shell, if in case I'll consider nucleus, then there are several orbits. Yeah, there are several orbits. So now, if electrons moves in its own path, as long as electron revolve around a nucleus in a same shell, is there any absorption or emission of energy? Students, just tell me. If electron revolve around its own path, is there any absorption or emission? Think. Electron revolving around the nucleus with a fixed path, isn't it? If it is its own path, is there any emission or absorption of energy? Think, student. It is in its own path. Yes? Is there? Just imagine. Emission is there, Rohit. How? So try to remember, electrons moving in its own path. Electron is moving in its own path. Is there any emission or absorption of energy? Yes. How, Prithvi? How? It has a definite energy. Yes, it has a definite energy. It is moving in its own path. It is moving in its own path. That means it is at its stable state. Higher to low. Yeah, that is true. From higher energy level to lower level, there is an emission or absorption, whatever it is. But the question is, if the electron revolve in its own path, is there any emission or absorption? There is no transition. Till now, it is in its own path. Yeah, no, because it is constant. That means here electron, it has some amount of energy, but there is no variation because it is moving in its own path. Isn't it? Yeah, it's accelerating in the orbit. It should radiate energy. It is because of, or it was explained by Rutherford. But in this case, Bohr's explain electron revolve around the nucleus in a circular path with a definite radius and a fixed path. They have fixed energy, isn't it? So that means there is no emission or absorption of energy when it revolve in a same path. Okay, Francis. So that was a drawback of Rutherford theory, which was again explained in Bohr's atomic theory. So that's why electron or atom never lose electron in a stable state. Clear? Okay. So here second step, second point, as long as electron revolve around nucleus, revolve around nucleus, there is no absorption or emission, or there is no gain or loss of electron. Clear? Second step, as long as electron, second point is, as long as electron revolve around the nucleus in a same shell, there is no loss or gain of electron. Clear? That is second step, second point. There is no excitement state of element to absorb or emit when it is in its orbit. Yes. When it present in its own orbit or shell, there is no loss or gain of electron. Clear? So this was the second point which was explained by the Bohr's atomic theory. So and this is again explanation for drawbacks of Rutherford theory. In case of Rutherford, we explained, isn't it? Whenever accelerated particles move in a circular path or electron move in a circular path, it finally falls towards nucleus by emitting energy, isn't it? But in this case, Bohr explained, as long as electron revolve around nucleus in its own path or same path, there is no absorption or emission. There is no gain or loss of electron. This is very important, student. Remember, as long as electron, if in case I'll consider this electron or whatever it is, so electron may be filled like this, isn't it? If in case I'll consider a second shell electron moves in its own path, isn't it? So there is no loss or gain of electron. It is in a stable state. It is in a stable state. So that's why there is no loss or gain of electron. Clear? So next one, in that point only, I'll consider it as third point. Shell or orbit, shell or orbit nearer to nucleus have less energy, and the shell which are far away from nucleus has a higher energy. That means as I move from here to here, energy increases or decreases? Student, just tell me. Energy decreases or increases? Energy increases or decreases as I move from n1 to infinity? Just tell me. Increases, isn't it? So that means if I'm moving from nucleus to outermost shell, electron goes on increases. That means if in case I'll consider this one, it is at a lower energy state. It is at a lower energy state. Just remember, student, first one, electron revolve in a circular path, isn't it? There is a definite path around the nucleus in which electron can move. Clear? Second point, as long as electron revolve in its own path, in its own shell, there is no loss or gain of electron. Clear? Third point, shell which are nearer to nucleus has a less energy, and the orbits which are far away from nucleus has a higher energy. That means energy increases as the distance between nucleus and orbit increases. Energy increases as the distance between nucleus and orbit increases. Is this clear? Is this clear? Third point, student, is this clear? Shell nearer to nucleus have less energy, and shell which are far away from nucleus have more energy, Is this clear? Okay. And now fourth point, this is actually single point, okay? Single postulate. Fourth point, energy is emitted or absorbed. Energy is emitted. Clearly listen. Energy is emitted or absorbed only when electron jumps from one energy level to another energy level. So this was the fourth postulate. Energy is emitted or absorbed only when electron jumps from one orbit to another, or one shell to another, or one energy level to another energy level. Prithvi. So now listen, energy is emitted or absorbed only when electron jumps from one orbit to another. So answer for this one. If it is in its own path, there is no loss or gain of electron, isn't it? But whenever there is a emission or absorption of energy, in that case there is a transition from one orbit to another orbit. For example, if in case I'll consider this as the first shell, second shell, third shell, fourth shell, and fifth shell, and I'll consider electron in a second shell. If in case I'll consider electron in a second shell. So now just tell me the answer, student. If electron moves from second shell to third shell, energy emit or absorbed? Energy emitted or absorbed? Just tell me. So now electrons were moving from second shell to third shell. Electrons were moving from second shell to third shell. That means it is at its lower energy level and it is moving towards higher energy level. Absorption or emission? Just tell me, student. Just tell me. So now I am at a lower energy level and I have to jump from lower to higher energy level. That means I need some amount of energy, isn't it? So that's why it is absorption. Now, I'll consider fourth shell electron and it needs to, or it jumps from fourth shell to first shell. What is mean by stationary state? Stationary state, why we call it as a stationary state? Orbit is known as stationary state itself. Why it is called as stationary state? Because here, what? Constant. But when will electron one shell to another shell? But when will electron? What, Namita? What was the question? Yeah, that only I'm telling. Whenever any electron is absorbed energy or it release energy, in that case only it Yeah, if it is in a stable state, there is no gain or loss of electron. Clear? If it is in a stable state, there is no loss or gain of electron. But whenever you are supplying external energy, in that case only transition will occur. Isn't it? If in case you are supplying energy, if you are giving any amount of energy from externally, in that case it will lose or gain electron, it will jump, isn't it? And energy, if it is electron or any electron is at a higher energy level, clear, and it is being unstable, it will return to its ground state. Yeah, in line spectrum of hydrogen we already studied. Clear? So whenever matter is heated or whenever electromagnetic radiations were falls over any matter or any element, there is an absorption of electromagnetic radiation, isn't it? In that case, electron jump from its ground state to higher energy state. Clear? And being unstable, it returned to ground state. Clear? Yeah, there may be emission, there may be absorption. Clear? If there is a absorption of energy, in that case, it jump from lower energy level to higher energy level. If there is a emission, in that case, it jump from higher energy level to lower energy level. Clear? So from higher energy to lower energy level, it should emit energy. If it jumps from lower energy level to higher energy level, it must absorb some amount of energy. Is this clear, Prithvi? Is this clear? What is the application of this concept? What is the application of this concept? So whole thing depends on this only. Clear? Color, variations of color, and different chemical properties. Clear? So these all things were discussed or explained by this itself. Clear? So further we study about different chemical reaction. In that case,